Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a pregnancy slash birth Q&A. So I've asked you guys on Instagram for some questions on the whole pregnancy and giving birth situation, and I've received a few, so I wanted to answer them for you. I have recently had, well, not recently, I had a baby in December. She's nearly 10 months and it's just like, whoa, where's the time gone? But anyway, she's nearly 10 months and I thought that I could just answer these questions for you because I know a lot of my friends are wanting to get pregnant and stuff like that. So, okay, first question. I knew I'd get answered this, but the first question was, would you do it again? Of course I would. I would definitely do it again. It's the most amazing thing to do. It really is amazing. It's hard, but it's amazing. And I feel like if you're saying about giving birth again, 100%, it's very natural, if that makes sense. Your body just knows what to do because you're made to do it. But when you've got that support that I had, and when you just get the support that you do from the midwives, which is insane, it really helps. I would do it again, but there are a few things that might stop me, if that makes sense. But yeah. Okay, did you have the epidural? Yes, I did. I wasn't going to. I was gonna just do gas and air. So what happened with me was I was induced, but I was in horrific pain because I didn't know, but I had an abscess in my pelvis. So when they was going up into my cervix to put this tablet in there, they was poking into different bits and I was screaming the place down. So I was on gas and air at that point. And then I eventually went into labour, and when I got to the point where contractions were kicking in, because I was induced, they were bringing them on. It wasn't natural. So I was induced, so I got to sort of, I think I was 2 centimetres, 1 centimetre. But because I was a high risk pregnancy or whatever, I had to go into the labour suite when I was 1 centimetre. Anyway, so they were watching on Olivia, they were monitoring everything, and she wasn't doing so great. She was slowing down and she wasn't doing what she should have been doing, so I had to keep drinking water. It was a very stressful moment. Anyway, so they put me onto, I can't remember what it was called, I was so out of it, but I believe it's called Pitocin. They put me onto something and I felt the contractions getting worse and worse. When I started getting real contractions, it was a struggle. Like, it's weird because it hurts, it's painful, but the thing is with it, the way the midwife taught me was, you get it and you building, you're building, and then you can relax, and then you get 5 minutes and then you're doing it again. But your body I found myself, my body was getting into a rhythm. I was actually having a conversation with the anaesthetist at the time I was having contractions. So he was like, yeah, so about the epidural, and I was like, hang on a minute. Like, I was having my contractions and I was speaking, and hang on a minute. So I'd done really well, but I was on gas and air. Now, because she was pumping this stuff up to get me more and more dilated and contracting more and more, it really hit me hard, and it was very, very painful. And TMI, but I had severe constipation. But the reason was because, one, it was because I was being induced. Two, it was because obviously I was pregnant and you can get that. But three, I had an abscess weighing down as well, so there was no room for nothing, you know. So, oh god. Anyway, so yeah, so they were pumping that up and it was go time eventually. So anyway, as I was taking this gas and air, because they were pumping it up so fast and the contractions were getting worse and worse, I was breathing it in way too quick. I wasn't getting 5 minutes, it was like every 2 minutes. So I was doing it, and then I think I've got my partner, Liam, he's got a video of it, and I'm not going to insert it because it's not okay, but I was singing How Much Is That Doggy in the window. And I remember people saying to me, like, laughing at me, and I've realised that I was getting delirious, and I felt so drunk. It was the weirdest feeling. It got me through the pain, like it gets you through the pain, But the reason, what happened was I decided, it was my decision, I decided to go for the epidural, and there was 2 reasons. The first reason was because I knew that I would not remember this whole birth if I carried on with that gas and air, because I was gone. So that's one. And the second reason was because I was in absolute agony, waist down, and that turned out to be because I was dilating. There was an abscess right near Olivia in the pelvis, like in that area, and that was hurting me too. So basically, thank God I had the epidural, otherwise things could have gone really, really wrong. So yes, I had the epidural. I think one of the questions was, does it hurt? No, it doesn't hurt. Well, I mean, I have blood tests every week nearly, so it feels like a bee sting. Like for me, it doesn't matter. I'm so used to blood tests and stuff like that. I'm not a wuss when it comes to that. I used to be, but I've had them for 15 years now, so injections are nothing to me. I also had to have an injection in my backside, in my bum, because she was going to come early and they needed to give her some steroid thing. So I had an injection for that. And then I'm anti-D, I'm negative D blood group, so I had to have an anti-D injection as well. But anyway, so what you have to do is you have to be very, very still, and literally you have to be still. So you have to sort of curve your back like that, and you have to remain still. The nurse held me, and the man was very, very strict, and wow, he was strict. He said to me, if you move, and a single inch, if you move whilst I'm putting this into your back, it could paralyse you. So when you hear them words, you are going to be still. So I was doing my power to be still, bearing in mind I was having contractions, so it was hard. But anyway, it was very quick, and I just felt a bee sting. It was nothing in my spine. And then I just felt this sensation of someone sort of sewing something into my back. It's hard to explain, but that's what it felt like. And then epidural was on, and oh my god, it felt so good. Because I had this abscess, it numbed everything there, and it numbed the contraction, so I went to sleep. It was the first time I'd not been in pain, so I thought, F this, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to get some sleep. Anyway, I didn't get much sleep. I got woke up 10 minutes later. I was getting checked down there, and they said, girl, you're 10 centimetres. And I was like, what? Liam shut up. He was half asleep. He was shut up, and he was like, delirious, what's going on? Anyway, my legs went up, and she was like, you need to start pushing. I was so excited, like I cannot explain the words, to meet my little girl. I was so excited. I was very scared as well because it was like my first time, but I went for it and I pushed. But because you've got an epidural, you can't feel the contraction, so she was pushing my stomach, and then she was like, right, Melissa, are you ready? Are you ready? Go, sort of thing. So she was telling me when to push. Anyway, I was pushing and pushing, and she said I was a really good pusher. She said, you want her out, don't you? I said, yeah. Anyway, so it turned out I think she went the wrong way. She turned around in the wrong way, and they wouldn't have been able to get her out like that. And then also, there was like 9 doctors at the machine, and they all said, Olivia, your daughter, is not cooperating, and we need to get her out now. So obviously I was very upset, and I was just like, do what you have to do, just please help her. So I got rushed to a C-section, and then I laid on the table and I was getting ready for one, and I grabbed this woman's hand and I said to her, I beg you, please, can you try and get her out with forceps, and I will push like I've never pushed before. And she said, yeah, we'll try that first. So, because I really didn't want a C-section. The reason I didn't want one was because, one, I'm scared of all of that. I'm scared of being put under. And I'm just, I don't know, I don't know, I'm just a bit worried about that. And then 2, I knew that something wasn't right with my body other than that, and that was that abscess. So I knew that the pain I had whilst I was pregnant definitely wasn't pregnancy pain, because it wasn't after a while, we found out. And I knew that the recovery would be very, very difficult for a C-section, because I've heard a load of stories about people like that, and I didn't want to do that, so I begged them. So they got down that end and we done forceps, and I pushed and pushed and pushed, and she come out. So yeah, I did have the epidural. I had something else put into my back. Liam will remember the name, but they had something, they numbed me, I think, to do the forceps. I don't know, but I didn't feel a thing. I just felt a sensation of pushing, but I wasn't. It's hard to explain. It's really weird. It's weird how medical stuff works, but it was like pushing for a poo, but there was no pain or anything. Anyway, that's that. Was it a normal birth? So normal birth, I really don't know what's counted as a normal birth anymore. The nurse there said to me, hardly anybody has normal births. Everyone has their own situation going on, so I don't know. Probably. Was it a normal birth? I'm not sure. What does it feel like pushing? Okay, so when you're pushing, it's really difficult to explain because I had an epidural, so it just felt like I was pushing. Honestly, I think to myself, like, if I didn't have had that epidural, one, how would have I even managed it? And two, how would have I pushed a baby out with an abscess? That would have hurt. But they said it could have burst if we didn't have had the epidural, so thank goodness, thank God that I thought of having the epidural. Anyway, and then the last question was, how was your pregnancy? So my channel obviously was going to take a bit of a turn and go into kind of mummy stuff and pregnancies and all of that, and I didn't speak about my pregnancy so much after because I feel like it's very off-putting and I don't want to put people off. So when people ask me, like my friends, I don't really tell them the bad bits. But if you want me to be honest with you, it was horrendous. It was horrendous. I am put off, but it's such a miracle at the end of it. But my pregnancy was difficult because I developed this abscess whilst I was pregnant. So they said it was like I was carrying two masses around, so it was like I was carrying twins basically, which is painful enough, I'm sure. But this abscess was hurting real bad, so I couldn't lay down, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I just didn't do anything. I got very dehydrated. I had to go on like loads of bags of water. I had to have blood transfusions. I had to have 2 blood transfusions when I gave birth because I lost way too much blood. Something went wrong with my kidneys. The list could go on, guys. I had obstetric cholestasis, which means that your kidneys, I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's your liver. I don't know. I don't want to get this wrong because I know someone will come at me. But just Google it, obstetric cholestasis. All I remember was it was something to do with either the kidneys or the liver, and it's just like a temporary thing whilst you're pregnant. But it made me very itchy. Like I was itching like a, yeah, it was weird. Then I had high blood pressure, so I nearly got, well, I got preeclampsia, but just as I was getting induced, so that was okay. I remember like seeing white dots everywhere. I was very hot and, oh, guys, I don't want to put you off, but I had quite a few issues. Would I do it again? The only thing that's got me thinking I'd do it again would be the fact that I wouldn't have an abscess next time, so maybe that would be better. Because I don't know if my pregnancy was hard because of the abscess or if I just suffered because of the pregnancy. One thing I will say, and I do not miss it, is the sickness. I cannot describe how awful the sickness is, and I seriously do not get how women, and if you have done this, you are amazing, how you have gone to work whilst you are having your morning sickness. Because I was flat out in bed, Netflix and watching YouTube, and just, I slept my way through my 16 weeks, I think, because it was horrendous. I had nothing, I couldn't eat, it makes me feel sick. I was vomiting everywhere. I was walking down the shops and I'd be vomiting in bushes, like it was so bad. My hospital appointments, I remember vomiting in the hospital car park. Yeah, it was minging. So you ladies that have gone to work whilst you're having your morning sickness, or or even the fact that the ones that have your morning sickness and you're pregnant whilst you're looking after kids, you guys are miracles. Like, you're miracle creators, because I couldn't. I'm sorry, but I just could not manage it. It was awful. I tried every sickness tablet that the doctor had in his book. Nothing worked. It was awful. So I did not enjoy my pregnancy. However, when you get to the second trimester, you don't even feel pregnant, and it's amazing. And you just have this beautiful bump starting, and it is amazing. Like, it's an amazing feeling. So I hope that's answered your questions. I'm very lucky to have her after having an abscess as well. So, oh, sorry, I've been up since 6 with her. I'm very lucky to have her after such an ordeal with the pregnancy and all of that. So I really hope this has answered your questions. I'm sorry I haven't done a birth vlog and a birth story. I don't think I'm ready to. It was just very, very hard to deal with and emotional, and just, I don't know, like, obviously, I don't know, I just don't want to, I don't feel like saying about it all, because I just feel like it's going to put people off, and I don't want to put people off because it's an amazing thing to do. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you are new. Every single one of you that subscribes means absolute world to me. Everyone that comments or you DM me on Instagram, I see you guys. And also, if you watch my videos, I love it when you mention me. Like, if you're watching one of my videos, you mention me and tag me in an Insta story. I will always repost them. Anything you mention of me or tag me in your pictures or whatever, I will always repost you guys. And I'll see you in another video. Bye.